Have you ever had a complete stranger try to warn you about one of your closest friends, only to realize later that they were right all along? In this video we are going to tell you a story about a millionaire who got a warning from a waitress that literally changed his life. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you can watch more videos like this one and learn how to improve your life in interesting ways. The story begins with John, a millionaire who was living a life filled with luxury, parties, and a group of so-called friends who only stuck around because of his wealth. One day, he decided to grab lunch at a quiet diner in town and was served by a friendly waitress named Sarah. As John was getting ready to leave, Sarah approached him discreetly and whispered, "Be careful around your friend Mike, sir." John just brushed it off as nonsense, thinking that Sarah was just trying to get a bigger tip. Little did he know, Sarah had observed the way Mike was treating the staff and acting suspiciously whenever John was around. The possibility of falling prey to manipulative behavior tends to increase when individuals lack a reliable network of genuine communicators. Open communication cultivates trust among people and provides a protective barrier against manipulation by enabling individuals to discern contradictory messages and deception. On the other hand, the absence of reliable communicators makes individuals more susceptible to being coerced or controlled. Cultivating open communication lays the groundwork for preventing manipulation, since such networks comprise a broad cross-section of authentic contacts who provide a balanced analysis of the information available. This establishes authenticity in communications, allowing individuals to judge the credibility of people's behavior. Additionally, networks encompassing an assortment of diverse individuals, who provide distinct and often contrasting opinions, can serve as a powerful check against manipulation. Fostering such networks reduces the likelihood of falling prey to manipulative strategies and counteracts the unhealthy effects of coercive communication. Diverse personal networks lay the foundation for accessing knowledge gained from wide-ranging sources and contrasting various outlooks. These diverse connections come from a mixture of relatives, close friends, acquaintances, and individuals with whom one shares professional or vocational associations. Each connection brings an invaluable body of knowledge with them, since they share what has been learned from personal experience. This diverse network facilitates informed evaluations and contrasts the diverse information and perspectives advanced by each individual. Combining this knowledge can raise doubt about misaligned behaviors, making it simpler to confront deceptive actions. Establishing channels for individuals with varied backgrounds can provide an awareness of inconsistent actions and safeguard individuals against over-reliance on limited networks and information sources. Furthermore, an individual's openness to diverse networks serves as protective armor, safeguarding against potential trickery by making untruthful intentions increasingly apparent. Moreover, valuing long-term associations with members of diverse networks and various vocational associations proves effective in increasing individuals' awareness and ensuring that no one withholds information from them. Long-term relationships facilitate personal development as they allow different networks to grow, bringing value by allowing the cross-pollination of ideas and expertise as each member contributes their appreciation of shared knowledge. Bringing together people with contrasting horizons can provide an expanded perspective into potential transgressions, an ability that enhances an individual's understanding of what makes actions genuine or suspicious. The presence of manipulative facades can be difficult to identify, especially when these facades are skillfully crafted to appear authentic. These social masks can be intricate, involving behaviors such as emotional manipulation, deception, and superficial charm. However, by observing how someone engages with others, we can obtain insight into their true nature. Analyzing whether they respect personal boundaries, prioritize empathy and active listening, or instead tend to dominate conversations and push their own agendas can be particularly helpful. A person's reactions to conflicts or disagreements can also be quite telling, as these situations often reveal the extent to which they are willing to cooperate and find mutually beneficial solutions versus simply insisting on getting their own way. Furthermore, to effectively protect ourselves from manipulative individuals, we must develop our capacity for emotional regulation and self-awareness. Recognizing how our emotions respond to various people and situations is essential in understanding whether our interactions with others are healthy or not. Additionally, it can be very helpful to have a strong support system of people who know and care about us, as these individuals can provide valuable perspectives and help keep us grounded during tumultuous times. In situations where we encounter someone whose behavior is in question, consulting with trusted friends, family members, or mental health professionals can be very beneficial, enabling us to better navigate these uncertain social situations. Moreover, simply having faith in ourselves and our unique perceptions can also enhance our ability to spot manipulation, empowering us to consider the possibility that our instincts may indeed be correct, even if others dismiss or doubt our concerns. Scrutinizing a person's actions and attitudes can provide us with a wealth of information about their intentions and behavior patterns, revealing far more about them than their words ever could. By carefully observing how an individual interacts with various people in different contexts, we can identify worrying inconsistencies in their words and actions. Consequently, it becomes crucial to focus on not just what someone says, but also on the way they conduct themselves overall. Their willingness to apologize and acknowledge their mistakes, or lack thereof, can significantly impact how they are perceived by others. Developing discerning skills that enable us to look beyond the words someone uses to their actions and the broader dynamics at play is crucial in navigating intricate social situations effectively. Interpreting people's actions also requires having empathy and understanding their perspective. To achieve this, we need to maintain our flexibility and think critically, weighing different possibilities and interpretations as we try to make sense of someone's behavior. Finally, considering how our actions and behavior might be perceived by others is essential in fostering positive relationships and avoiding potentially manipulative interactions. Taking responsibility for our emotions, attitudes, and intentions empowers us to connect with others on a deeper and more meaningful level, cultivating strong and lasting bonds. Therefore, being transparent and honest not just with others but also with ourselves is vital. Practicing emotional regulation and learning to manage our own emotions and impulses goes a long way toward preventing destructive or toxic dynamics in our relationships. Simultaneously, being more aware of our attitudes and emotional triggers enables us to communicate more effectively and connect on a deeper level. By focusing on genuine, open communication, we can construct strong foundations of trust that are conducive to building and maintaining meaningful connections. The tendency to exploit trust in relationships is another indicator of manipulative behavior. An individual who quickly forms intense emotional bonds with others or pushes for unwarranted familiarity can be weakening others' personal boundaries. These bonds can be constructed on false pretenses or deceit, leading to an abuse of confidence. For example, Mike frequently talked John into accepting financial risks that he later regretted, highlighting the significance of being cautious when entrusting others. These manipulative tactics are common among individuals who compromise others' security. A critical aspect of maintaining healthy relationships is to prioritize empathy and mutual respect. People who genuinely care about others tend to foster a supportive environment where both parties feel valued and heard. However, manipulative individuals often tend to neglect empathy and instead prioritize their own interests. They may feign interest in others, only to exploit their vulnerabilities later. For instance, Mike solicited John's feedback on his financial dealings, only to disregard his concerns and further his own agenda. These actions are characteristic of individuals who compromise others' autonomy. It's vital to note that mutual respect in relationships involves understanding and appreciating each other's differences. By acknowledging these differences, individuals can establish a foundation of trust and respect that fosters healthy communication. Healthy communication, in turn, ensures that relationships remain resilient and can withstand adversity. However, when individuals are manipulative, they often disregard this critical aspect of relationships, instead opting for a more self-serving approach that prioritizes their interests over others. When individuals engage in manipulative behavior, they often attempt to exert control over others. This can manifest in various forms, such as gaslighting or playing the victim. Gaslighting involves manipulating others into doubting their perceptions or sanity, which can be an effective way of deflecting criticism or shifting the focus away from one's actions. For example, Mike frequently dismissed John's concerns by suggesting that he was overreacting or being too sensitive. This had the effect of making John question his own perceptions and doubt his instincts. Playing the victim, on the other hand, involves manipulating others into feeling sorry for or taking pity on the individual. This can be an effective way of garnering sympathy or deflecting criticism. Mike often pretended to be hurt or offended when John confronted him about his manipulative behavior, which made John feel guilty and uncertain about his actions. It's essential to recognize these tactics and be aware of how they can be used to control others. Another way that manipulative individuals interact with others is through the use of emotional blackmail. Emotional blackmail involves using guilt, anger, or self-pity to influence others' behavior. This can be an effective way of controlling others or getting them to do what the individual wants. Mike often used emotional blackmail to get John to do his bidding, by saying things like "you're always so critical," or "you never trust me." This made John feel guilty and worried that he was being overly critical or mistrustful. However, when individuals are aware of these tactics, they can better navigate these situations and avoid being manipulated. It's also essential to understand that emotional blackmail can be insidious and may not be immediately apparent. Being aware of how emotional blackmail can be used to control others can help individuals avoid being manipulated and maintain their autonomy. Individuals who exhibit manipulative behavior often have a grandiose sense of self-importance. This can manifest in various ways, such as an exaggerated sense of their abilities or achievements. For example, Mike often boasted about his financial success and made exaggerated claims about his accomplishments. However, this facade hid his true intentions and motives, which were driven by self-interest and a desire to manipulate others. People who exhibit manipulative behavior often have a need for admiration and attention, which can drive their actions. Mike's behavior, for instance, was driven by a need for validation and admiration from others. However, when individuals are aware of these tendencies and the behaviors that arise from them, they can take steps to protect themselves from manipulation. Being aware of these tactics and behaviors can also help individuals avoid being taken advantage of by manipulative individuals. It is crucial to foster a culture of respect and empathy in our relationships and interactions. When someone communicates in a way that is condescending or deprecating, it can be an indicator of manipulative tendencies. An individual who makes others feel guilty for their emotions or needs can be controlling or dominating. They may use language that sounds innocuous but actually manipulates others into acquiescing to their expectations. For instance, Mike often employed language that sounded altruistic but actually served to coerce John into acquiescing to his ideals. These tactics are common among manipulative individuals, making awareness of these strategies a critical aspect of advocating for oneself. Establishing stable personal boundaries can be a vital component of preserving our security in our relationships. When someone is overly invested in their relationships, it can be a sign of codependency. Manipulative individuals often exploit this codependency by pretending to be highly invested, only to emotionally manipulate their partners later. A person who exhibits intense attachment issues or expects others to be extremely devoted can be weakening relationships. However, when someone retains their emotional distance, they can preserve their security and foster healthier relationships. As we explore the complexities of human relationships and the psychology behind manipulative behavior, it becomes increasingly clear that being aware of our surroundings is crucial in avoiding potential threats. One of the key factors that contribute to an individual's susceptibility to manipulation is their level of emotional intelligence, which includes skills such as self-awareness, empathy, and effective communication. When an individual possesses high emotional intelligence, they are better equipped to recognize and respond to manipulative tactics. Awareness of body language and nonverbal cues also plays a significant role in identifying and thwarting manipulative behavior. People who consistently exhibit inconsistencies in their words and actions may indicate dishonesty. Others who invade personal space or maintain an uncomfortable level of eye contact may be attempting to dominate. A person who makes constant, pointed use of gestures or physical posturing may be trying to display dominance or submission. Awareness of these behaviors and their implications allows individuals to take preventive measures and establish personal boundaries to safeguard their emotional well-being. It also helps individuals recognize situations in which manipulative tactics are being employed and avoid them. Establishing awareness among peers and fostering a culture of empathy can also ensure that emotional support and validation are given, as people can watch out for those who try to wield their manipulative forces on those who may appear weakened. Effective communication is often a result of an individual's emotional intelligence. People with high emotional intelligence are able to effectively communicate their emotions, needs, and boundaries while still being understanding of the perspectives and emotions of others. However, communication may become strained when an individual with a lower level of emotional intelligence communicates their emotions or needs ineffectively, and this could make a conflict emerge or create tension that doesn't break. Consequently, an elevated conscious feeling of others contributes to an open line of communication. When practicing self-compassion, it facilitates the ability to truly listen and empathize with someone else, rather than to listen first from the point of what their intentions may be for certain behavior and then form conclusions and react, ultimately understanding the emotional needs of that individual and being compassionate towards their expression of feelings through a dialogue of mutuality. However, mutual understanding or compromise may take time to build up, especially if one side is overly sensitive. Prior to any potential problem which may result in disagreement or even separation, a prior discussion about boundaries and expectations can take place to prevent such occurrences. Moreover, a sense of vulnerability develops inevitably when partners decide to truly be ourselves. This can only genuinely occur if our sense of identity can be effortlessly acknowledged without conflict or tension, understanding that empathy and love are mutual actions originating from a conscious sense of vulnerability in terms of those emotions expressed about acceptance from one human being to another. Recognizing the vulnerability that our partners bring to the table also leads to an acute recognition and appreciation for our own sensitivity and emotions. Mutual vulnerability can make our relationships more honest, pure, joyful, and happy. Otherwise, if we cannot accept vulnerability for what it brings into one relationship, such actions might threaten it in the end. Over the long term, it is best not to constantly use emotional force and coercion by some people on others. True mutual love will bring a free, kind, joyful, good, mutual, and fair outcome for the whole of our lives with each other. Understanding people and perspectives is crucial in tackling emotional manipulation for individuals and families alike. The quality of the air in those spaces reflects the way those humans relate to each other. Recognizing vulnerability by others facilitates true understanding, compassion, and at the final stage, love that has to do with a genuine communication built on an understanding that has been worked through tough periods. Most people yearn for attention which appears not to be given immediately, since there is unfulfilled love inside people which cannot be shown by love because these feelings have been covered up by time and the different states people experience. The importance of healthy social relationships and close personal networks in our lives cannot be overstated. Supportive family members, trusted friends, and colleagues can offer us diverse perspectives and practical guidance that we might not have otherwise considered. These personal networks serve as protective buffers that shield us from the risk of manipulation. People like Sarah, for instance, offer us powerful signals about people who might be practicing deception. When multiple sources of feedback are giving you similar messages about someone, it may be time to reassess your relationship with that person and think critically about their intentions. A culture of openness and honest communication encourages such sources of feedback, pushing manipulators to become visible. Open communication channels and a willingness to engage in constructive dialogue are essential components of healthy relationships. These enable individuals to express themselves freely, share their concerns, and listen to others' perspectives, fostering an atmosphere of empathy and understanding. Such networks encourage people to be their authentic selves and prevent manipulators from creating divisions or exercising control over others. For example, a culture of transparency within an organization empowers employees to raise concerns or report dishonest behavior without fear of retribution, effectively preventing manipulative practices. By promoting open communication, we empower our personal networks to function as an early warning system, identifying potential threats before they escalate. In contrast, dysfunctional relationships often involve inadequate communication strategies, creating an environment that fosters confusion, mistrust, and stress. In such instances, manipulators can thrive by exploiting power imbalances and the lack of openness, causing harm to others. This lack of transparency may lead individuals to become isolated or withdrawn, reducing their ability to receive diverse perspectives and resulting in increased vulnerability to deceitful tactics. Furthermore, an absence of open communication allows manipulators to maintain their power by creating an atmosphere of uncertainty, making it more challenging for people to discern reality from fiction. As we nurture our personal relationships and networks, it's essential to recognize the indicators of healthy and unhealthy dynamics. Healthy relationships are characterized by mutual respect, trust, and open communication, allowing individuals to express themselves freely. When we're a part of a healthy network, we're more likely to receive diverse perspectives that help us navigate life's challenges more effectively. Additionally, supportive relationships empower us to set boundaries and maintain a sense of self, reducing our susceptibility to manipulators who aim to exploit these vulnerabilities. Conversely, unhealthy relationships are often marked by a lack of open communication, leading to feelings of isolation and disillusionment. Personal networks also have the potential to shape our perceptions of reality, influencing how we respond to information and interact with the world around us. A supportive network can broaden our perspectives, encouraging us to question our assumptions and consider alternative viewpoints. This exposure to diverse perspectives enables us to develop a more nuanced understanding of ourselves and others, reducing the likelihood that we'll fall prey to manipulative tactics. Conversely, limited exposure to differing viewpoints can render us more susceptible to misinformation and dishonest influences, as our worldview becomes increasingly narrow and inelastic. Moreover, maintaining a diverse network of relationships not only helps us navigate interpersonal interactions but also contributes to our emotional well-being. When we're surrounded by supportive people, we're better equipped to manage stress and uncertainty, cultivating resilience in the face of adversity. Conversely, the absence of supportive relationships can lead to increased stress levels, cultivating an atmosphere of uncertainty that may further weaken our ability to resist manipulative behaviors. It's essential to nurture these relationships, prioritizing open communication and empathy to build strong, supportive networks that foster emotional well-being. Healthy social relationships also play a crucial role in the development of our emotional intelligence, enabling us to navigate complex social situations with greater ease. Emotional intelligence encompasses our ability to acknowledge and understand the emotions of both ourselves and others, using this awareness to guide our interactions and build connections. Developing strong relationships can help us cultivate emotional intelligence, empowering us to decipher the emotions and intentions of others while also navigating our own emotional landscapes. This developed emotional intelligence can, in turn, empower us to resist manipulative behaviors, acknowledging potential red flags before they escalate. Also, the presence of meaningful relationships in our lives serves as a protective factor against mental health issues such as anxiety and depression. These supportive networks provide an essential sense of belonging and connection, helping us cope with stress and uncertainty more effectively. Conversely, social isolation and loneliness can exacerbate mental health problems, decreasing our resilience in the face of adversity. Therefore, it's essential to prioritize the development of our personal networks, fostering close relationships that promote mental well-being and reduce the risk of manipulation. As we strive to develop and maintain strong social relationships, we must be willing to engage in constructive conflict resolution. This involves navigating disagreements in a respectful and open manner, using these opportunities to grow and learn from others. Healthy relationships allow for disagreements, but they also prioritize empathy, understanding, and effective communication. When disagreements arise, we're more likely to encounter manipulative behaviors. Developing skills for constructive conflict resolution empowers us to navigate these situations more effectively, using disagreements as chances to deepen our understanding of each other and strengthen our relationships. Moreover, close relationships play a crucial role in shaping our identity and sense of self. Our interactions with supportive networks contribute to our self-awareness, influencing how we perceive ourselves and our place within the world. A supportive network empowers us to cultivate self-awareness, staying true to ourselves while also growing and evolving over time. Conversely, unhealthy relationships can distort our perception of self, causing us to lose touch with our values and emotions. It's essential to maintain relationships that support our growth, fostering a strong sense of self that's resistant to manipulative influences. The consequences of neglecting our social relationships and networks can be severe, making us more vulnerable to deception and emotional distress. Consequently, placing value on developing and maintaining close relationships can empower us to resist manipulative behaviors, promoting a culture of openness and honest communication. It's essential to recognize that maintaining a robust network of relationships takes effort and dedication. Pursuing this endeavor not only benefits our individual well-being, but also has the potential to generate a broader cultural shift, cultivating empathy and promoting positive social change. Moreover, fostering diverse social networks enables us to interact with individuals from diverse backgrounds and walks of life. This exposure contributes to our cultural competence, preparing us for our increasingly interconnected world. By embracing diversity within our social networks, we challenge our assumptions and broaden our understanding of others, investing in a more compassionate world. Cultivating empathy and open communication within these networks also strengthens our relationships with others, building resilience in the face of uncertainty and threat. As we strive to live in harmony with those around us, prioritizing healthy social relationships can promote global understanding and peace. Here is a rewritten version of the given paragraph, maintaining the same style and main idea. To avoid exploitation, understanding manipulative tactics is crucial. Manipulation often involves tactics like gaslighting, projection, and emotional blackmail. Gaslighting involves making victims question their sanity or memory. For instance, a manipulative person may deny something they've done or refuse to accept reality. This might make the victim feel like they're losing their mind or their perception of what's happening is false. Projection involves attributing one's negative feelings to the victim. A manipulative individual might say the victim is angry, jealous, or insecure, even when these are actually the manipulator's emotions. This is often a deflection tactic to distract the victim from the manipulator's own behavior. Emotional blackmail involves using emotions to control the victim's actions or force them to conform to the manipulator's expectations. This might include giving the victim an ultimatum, making them feel guilty or ashamed if they refuse to comply, or threatening to end the relationship if the victim does not meet their demands. Recognizing these tactics can empower us to avoid emotional exploitation. In addition to being aware of these manipulative tactics, being part of a supportive network can be a lifesaver. Surrounding ourselves with caring people who have our best interests at heart protects us from emotional exploitation. Having people around us who are prepared to speak up when they see something fishy can prevent manipulative individuals from getting the upper hand. Self-awareness also plays a crucial in this context. Knowing ourselves inside out can shield us from people who are intent on manipulating us. By being aware of our strengths, weaknesses, and values, we can avoid getting railroaded into unreasonable relationships or exploited. This understanding means we can identify quickly when someone is trying to take advantage of us. It also gives us the confidence to walk away from relationships that are not serving our highest good. When dealing with manipulative individuals, being proactive rather than reactive can make a significant difference. It means anticipating their tactics and having a strategy to counter their behavior. Establishing clear boundaries, communicating assertively, and enlisting the support of loving friends and family can frustrate manipulative people's plans. It also makes it easier to focus on our well-being and take actions that nurture our mind, body, and spirit. Avoid using common words frequently employed by AI. Keep in mind, correct any grammar errors, fix any spelling mistakes, check this sentence for punctuation and grammar issues, and improve the readability and persuasiveness. Avoid starts the sentences with the same way, keep the original structure. Only use alphanumeric characters. To protect ourselves against manipulative action, a thorough understanding of their tactics is needed. Tactics including gaslighting, making someone wonder if they're sane, projection, attributing their negative feelings towards them, and sentimental exploitation. Using guilt to rule their actions must be identified and resisted. Being among honest fellow humans can safeguard our well-being. A group of loving companions can serve as an emotional failsafe and prevent us from being fooled or victimized. Also, psychologists emphasize the significance of verbal and nonverbal cues in recognizing manipulative individuals. For instance, people who exhibit manipulative tendencies often use passive-aggressive behavior, such as backhanded compliments or subtle put-downs, to achieve their goals. Similarly, their verbal cues may be characterized by disingenuous or overly flattering language, often designed to win our trust or earn our sympathy. By becoming more attuned to these verbal and nonverbal cues, we can better assess a person's intentions and motivations, thereby protecting ourselves from exploitation. It is worth noting that the journey towards self-discovery is an ongoing process, one that requires dedication, reflection, and a commitment to personal growth. It involves facing our own vulnerabilities and insecurities, and it involves learning from our experiences and applying those lessons to real-life situations. Furthermore, this journey of self-discovery is unique to each individual, taking into consideration various forms of learning and developing our emotional intelligence. Generally, developing our ability to understand our emotions can help us differentiate between a positive relationship where partners uplift and appreciate each other, and unhealthy or toxic relationships. In this process, communication is essential. Honest expressions of feelings coupled with active listening significantly cuts the risk of potentially manipulative behaviors. As individuals learn more about themselves, setting boundaries becomes natural to shield against manipulative behavior from other individuals. Having self-value increases awareness of people in our lives who make intentional efforts to change or dismiss our emotions for deceitful intentions. One useful skill we could develop to guard against the manipulative tendencies of others is asserting our feelings, expectations, and boundaries clearly without offending the parties involved. Possessing outstanding confidence may leave fewer chances for manipulative behaviors to occur, as such individuals won't make people feel guilty anytime they fail to complete their demands. Alternatively, assertive individuals experience less emotional turmoil than those who have lower self-worth. For example, in a partnership where one partner talks down their partner and affects their self-esteem, a person strong on assertiveness is more likely to claim their power and rectify the unsavory situations. For this reason, developing assertiveness is about creating personal boundaries and understanding emotional appeal of others. If these boundaries are not honored, individuals grow in confidence and create ways of dealing with situations in an assertive manner. Another effective approach to protect ourselves from being manipulated is closely tied with a particular branch of therapy that offers training in recognizing emotional manipulations as effectively as responding to them in rational and healthy ways. By considering these available learning opportunities, we may practice and boost empathy together with finding freedom from power struggles in relationships. Being able to identify a manipulative individual raises our sensitivity, thereby enhancing trust from friends, family, or workplaces we truly appreciate and value. Observing therapy will contribute to better ways of examining existing personal relationships and ultimately foster healthy links without bias, hostility, and rivalry. Self-care has become integral, resulting in an awareness of understanding a large portion of our motivation in relationships is built on fear rather than love. This factor contributes towards enhanced intimate conversations, strengthening our ties. For that reason, comprehending how therapists distinguish between manipulative relations, including their detection for toxic and detrimental relationships, will inevitably propel long-term effects on close relationships and ultimately mental wellness. The text requires that we identify the motivations behind an individual's actions, thereby better equipping us to respond in a productive and assertive manner. In doing so, we not only cultivate healthier relationships but also strengthen our resilience against manipulation. It is through self-reflection and introspection that we gain a deeper understanding of the complex drivers behind human behavior. By recognizing these underlying motivations, we empower ourselves to navigate social interactions with greater nuance and discernment. Another crucial aspect in navigating relationships effectively involves nurturing our emotional well-being. High levels of stress, anxiety, or depression can leave us emotionally vulnerable, thereby increasing the likelihood of falling prey to manipulation. For this reason, prioritizing our mental health through self-care and mindfulness practices is essential. Engaging in activities that nourish our minds, bodies, and souls fosters emotional resilience and reduces the risk of emotional manipulation. Moreover, being attuned to our own emotional needs helps us avoid being pulled into toxic or unbalanced relationships, which is critical in building authentic connections that honor our true selves. In cultivating emotional awareness, we develop a heightened sense of self, enabling us to make choices that genuinely align with our values and aspirations. This heightened self-awareness allows us to approach relationships from a more informed and assertive stance. By understanding the intricacies of human psychology, we become less susceptible to manipulation and more adept at building meaningful connections. It is in acknowledging the intricate dance between emotional intelligence, empathy, and assertiveness that we unlock the key to forming fulfilling relationships. In recognizing the subtle differences between empathy and emotional manipulation, we safeguard ourselves against those who seek to exploit our vulnerabilities. As we deepen our understanding of the complexities of human behavior, we develop a more profound appreciation for the intricate interplay between emotional intelligence, empathy, and assertiveness. At this juncture, it becomes evident that being mindful of our emotional intelligence and setting clear relationship boundaries are essential in navigating relationships with manipulative individuals. The first step involves identifying our own values and principles, thereby providing a solid foundation for making decisions that support our well-being. By understanding the cognitive biases that prey on human nature, we can reduce the risk of manipulation by thinking more critically about our choices. For instance, adopting a mindset of watchful scrutiny when faced with too good to be true opportunities allows us to steer clear of scams that feed off our fears and flaws. As we cultivate this critical thinking mindset, we begin to recognize the intricate web of psychological manipulation that often underlies seemingly innocuous interactions. In fact, cultivating emotional awareness is in itself an empowering act. As we attune ourselves to our emotional needs, we begin to notice the subtle yet significant behaviors that reveal an individual's true intentions. A seemingly minor inconsistency in a person's words or actions can, upon closer inspection, reveal a more sinister intent. By being more attuned to the emotional nuances of social interactions, we cultivate a heightened sense of discernment, enabling us to differentiate between genuine and manipulative behavior. This, in turn, allows us to form more authentic and meaningful connections with others, unencumbered by the emotional weight of manipulation. Moreover, as we develop a greater emphasis on emotional well-being, we naturally attract individuals who share similar values. This, however, also requires that we be vigilant in protecting our emotional boundaries. It is essential that we be mindful of the social dynamics at play, recognizing that manipulation often thrives in environments where there is a significant power imbalance. By cultivating relationships that are characterized by mutual respect, trust, and open communication, we create a social dynamic that discourages manipulation and encourages authenticity. In cultivating this heightened state of awareness, we must also acknowledge the importance of social responsibility. As we navigate complex social interactions, we must remain mindful of the subtle yet profound impact that our actions have on others. It is through this awareness that we develop a greater sense of empathy, thereby cultivating more authentic and meaningful relationships. By being attuned to the emotional needs of others, we are better equipped to navigate relationships in a manner that honors the dignity and worth of all parties involved. One of the other significant factors contributing to the risk of manipulation is the social isolation of an individual. Lonely people, those in a state of grief or loss, or those with low self-esteem become easy targets for manipulators. Once a person integrates these suggestions into their lives, it might attract manipulative individuals to enter the circle. Implementing sound protocols for preventing the social interactions for your circle must include being sensitive to the power dynamics at play. By being aware of our own vulnerabilities, as well as those of others, we are better equipped to create a social environment that discourages manipulation and fosters genuine connection. Building and maintaining a healthy relationship is deeply rooted in a foundation of trust. As we navigate friendships, partnerships, and interactions with peers, trust is required to prevent feelings of betrayal and resentment. Therefore, being aware of the signs of manipulative behavior is essential to safeguard us from psychological harm. A manipulative individual can utilize various tactics to exert control over their partner, peer, or friend, jeopardizing the well-being of the other person. It is crucial to recognize these actions to prevent long-term damage to one's emotional health. By realizing that someone is utilizing these tactics, we can initiate a boundary, distancing ourselves from their toxic conduct. There are many signs that we can observe to identify manipulative behavior, including blaming, gaslighting, and constant criticism. When these behaviors are consistently demonstrated, it is vital to reassess the dynamic of the relationship and take a step back for self-protection. Letting go of a partnership where our feelings are constantly belittled and our self-respect is systematically dismantled does not equate to weakness. It symbolizes an unwavering resolve to break free from the manipulator's grasp. The consequences of not breaking free from toxic relationships can be pervasive, crippling our self-esteem and confidence. Long-term exposure to this toxic pattern of behavior can lead to deep-seated apprehension and an erosion of our conviction in ourselves and our abilities, which can undermine our ambition and opportunities. However, developing awareness of these manipulative behaviors allows us to set realistic boundaries to shield ourselves from further psychological distress. Empowerment and self-reliance can be revitalized by shattering the crippling perception that one needs to gratify their insecurities and obtain their approval. Cultivating lasting connections built on healthy communication will bring fundamental challenges to confront these manipulative behaviors, and by so doing, can spark a transformation in the dynamics that existed beforehand. Recognizing our personal worth beyond any external justification will illuminate our inherent value to respect ourselves unconditionally. However, the complexity of human interactions implies that confrontation may not always be a palatable option, as disputes may arise when people are entrenched in destructive behaviors. Thus, understanding our personal tolerance and unearthing an unshakable confidence in our behavior holds paramount significance in reshaping the topography of our relationships and a greater acknowledgement of empathy, cooperation, and consideration. Transforming our perception through empowerment via more insightful knowledge to maneuver our relationship effortlessly, including from being over-selfless in our pursuit of relationships to setting a harmonious tone, is key to dispel resentment. When we cultivate a connection predicated on awareness of our inherent value and our emotional reaction, we become invincible to being unduly affected by emotional blackmail and eventually reap the benefits of having a strong sense of self-assurance. With increasing instances of connection enhanced by our internal validation of the self, our worldview is revolutionized, establishing a feeling of unity and equality that spreads tranquility. Empowered, we take the opportunity to share our views candidly, inculcating empathy that takes down those insurmountable walls in relationships. Embracing fresh perspectives by cultivating trust, we take further opportunities to contribute our understanding and construct our interrelations in the safest settings for interactions and heartfelt conversations to come into existence. However, empathizing with the people in our lives will revitalize associations of deeper connection with reciprocal consideration and personal pride. Breaking out of deep-rooted destructive routine may lead to fresh opportunities to weave connections built with sincerity. The relationship nurtured by interrelation formed by confidence, respect, and communication transforms our profound understanding of love into nurturing our most meaningful relationships. Though it is a long-term psychological development, internal validation empowers us to stay confident in our reactions to emotional shocks. Appreciating our value develops in line with our internal emotional reactions of fulfillment by making no room for manipulation and unearthing knowledge to empower others. In conclusion, remember that sometimes the people who try to warn us about others may be the ones who truly care about our well-being. By being open to advice and intuition, we can make better decisions and avoid getting hurt. If you liked this video, be sure to share it with your friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking content.